Alright guys, we are back with another video, and as you can see, I put the cage on. Just simple, nothing too crazy. So right now we're about to go look for some parts. Then we got like a 30-minute ride. So I'm looking for a mirror, because these mirrors gotta go, and a seat. We're gonna see if we can find a shop that has a seat. So we'll chat and ride, see if we find somewhere. I was supposed to go to a place tomorrow, but sometimes you get impatient. That's kind of like a bad habit I have, is being impatient for certain things. And it's really not good, because then I end up wasting a lot of money. Like even all of my previous bikes, I just become impatient and I start doing things that I know if I would have just waited, it would have had a better outcome. But we live and we learn, right? So right now we'll just, like I said, we'll look for a seat and some mirrors. I'm really more leaning towards a seat, because I rather the comfort over the looks. So if I can find a seat today, that would be great. If not, no big deal. Why is my maps like this? I don't know. Let me fix it. This is not my normal phone that I use for the bike. This is my iPhone. I usually use my my Android, because the Android, I don't know, it's better than iPhone. The battery lasts forever. This iPhone, I charge this iPhone more than my Android, and I don't use this iPhone. That's the crazy part. And then this bridge always catch me. But it looked like we had to go straight this time, so we'll go under. Yeah. And today's Mother's Day. Hopefully they're even open. I don't know, today's a Sunday, so hopefully they're open. I saw this shop on YouTube. It's called DC Motowolf, San Antonio, something like that. And I saw a video on YouTube. Video was quite old, but hopefully the shop's still there. If not, no big deal. But yeah, 24 minutes. What can we talk about on the way there? We can talk about my previous bikes. So I hear a big bike. My first bike out of all my bikes was a 1990 Suzuki VX 800. Definitely wasn't my style, but like I said earlier, I have a bad habit of rushing into certain things. So buying that bike was more of a, I just want a bike. It doesn't matter what bike it is, as long as I get a bike. And I ended up getting that bike. So it wasn't my style. Definitely didn't fit me, because I bought the bike, I think I was probably like 18 years old. And that bike looked like for someone who's like maybe like 40 or 50 years old. No disrespect. So yeah, that was my first bike I ever bought. And then my second bike, trying to see if I can remember, I believe was a 2009 Suzuki Gixxer 600. That bike I have for a while. It was a pretty good bike too. And then funny story with that bike, I wanted to sell it to get something cheaper, just so I can have, like, extra money laying around. So I posted it for sale. This was all in Texas. And then one dude was like, hey, he'll buy it, whatever. I'm like, cool. So he came in a car, and we talked, the usual. We talked, asked questions, then he asked for a test ride, and that's where I messed up. Because when he asked for the test ride, I'm like, yeah, sure, you gotta give me the cash or let me hold your phone or something. I mean, I was young, I was dumb. So he gave me the phone. I didn't even check the phone. He gave me the phone. He got on the bike. Remember, he came in the car. Whoever drove him in the car never got out the car. The windows was tinted, so I don't know who was in the car. He claimed his girlfriend was in the car or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So he got on the bike, and then he took off. I'm thinking it's just a test ride. So he didn't have a helmet or anything. So I'm thinking it's just a test ride. Not remembering, in Texas, you don't need a helmet for a motorcycle. At least back then, you don't need a helmet to ride a motorcycle. So he takes off, and then maybe like 2 seconds later, the car took off. So I'm like, oh yeah, he definitely stole my bike. So I gave it about 10 minutes, nothing. I'm like, cool. I accepted it. He stole my bike. What more can I do? I call the police, they're not gonna do nothing. Not to be racist, but we're in a Hispanic town. We're close to the Mexican border. Clearly, I'm not Hispanic. Most of the cops are going to be Hispanic, so they're not really going to do much. And that's exactly what happened. I did the police report just for the insurance. I did the police report. Sure enough, they're like, oh, get them 3 days, and then they'll contact me. They wasn't going to contact me. So I gave it about 2 hours, and then once I, like, fully accepted it, I decided to post on Facebook. I'm like, yo, like the Facebook motorcycle groups. I'm like, this is my bike. This is what it looked like. This is the dude. He asked for a test ride. It was my fault. I let him test ride it, and he took off. The car he took off, the car he came in took off too. It's like an 02 Maxima, Nissan Maxima. So then, after like about 30 minutes, someone commented on the post. He's like, hey bro, I know that guy. He's like a drug addict or whatever. I'm like, do you think we could set him up, like act like we're gonna buy the bike from him or something? He's like, yeah, we can do that. So the next day from after my bike was stolen, we set up a meet at the local Walmart. And sure enough, it was me, the guy who set him up, and then one of my buddies that had a bike. So we all went there. I had to hide, of course, because I came in my car and I had to hide because obviously he knows what I look like, so if he see me, he'll probably just ride off. So I stood in my car, I hid. The guy sure enough came, was all showing off, revving in the parking lot like it was his bike or something. So my buddy approached him like, hey, you want to ride? Where you headed to? Well, try to start a conversation with him. So as he did that, I like snuck up on him from behind. I like ran up on him, got him off the bike. I tried to hold him. I tried to hold on to him. I told the guy I told my friend to call the police, whatever. But as I'm holding the guy from behind, the guy who started holding on to a car, which was his friend, the same car that we let this fire truck go. It's so windy too. Oh, that's a local fire truck. See, they don't have modern technology here, but they get the job done. So yeah, I was holding on to the guy. I'm like, yo, call the police. Whatever. I don't know. I don't even know if someone called the police or everybody was just watching, whatever. But I was holding the guy was holding the car started rolling, and then we both fell, but he got up, hopped in the car, took off. So me being stupid, I hopped in my car and started chasing him. I forgot about my bike. My bike is just sitting in the parking lot. I just started chasing him. So it was pretty much like a police chase, but I'm not a police. So we just going through the town, and then I finally got in front of him, stopped him, held him up. I called the police. I was armed. I called the police. I was armed, but my 9mm had no bullets. I didn't tell him that though. Obviously he didn't know, but he was scared. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just needed money from my daughter or whatever." Blah blah blah. I called the police, and like I said before, we're in a Hispanic town. These guys are all Hispanic, so they're not gonna do nothing. That's just what it is. So I called the police. Sure enough, the police operator was Hispanic. She's like, "Oh, just let him go, so nobody don't get hurt. Just give her the license plate number." Ma'am, I have him cut off. He ain't going nowhere. Just let him go. We have the license plate number. We'll catch him eventually. Fine, sure. They didn't want to do nothing, so I let him go. I went back to the parking lot. My bike was still there. The girl that works in the Walmart, she stayed with my bike. So that was a good story for that bike. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully it made sense because I'm trying to focus on the road. So, but that's the story of that '09 Gixxer. I did eventually selling it, and then ever since then I never sold a bike giving them a test ride. I don't care who you are, no test ride, because if you go buy a bike brand new, they're not going to give you a test ride. So it's either you want the bike or you don't. You pay me, you don't have to sign the papers. You pay me, and then you go test ride. If you don't like it or whatever, I'll give you your money back. I'm not money hungry, but you're going to give me the money full before you test ride anything that I'm selling. And I always stuck with that rule. So even when I sold my Aerox the other day, the guy wanted a test ride, and I'm like, no, you give me the money and then you can test ride. I'm not money hungry, but you're gonna give me my money. Service road, yeah. So that's the story of my '09 Gixxer. So after I sold my '09 Gixxer, I ended up buying a '04 Gixxer. Remember I said I wanted to sell it because I just wanted the extra money. So I bought a '04 Gixxer 600. And then that's when I got into stunt riding. Man, she's in the way. That's when I got into stunt riding with my '04 Gixxer. But with the '04 Gixxer, it was more of me just recording everybody else, like in the parking lots. Nice ADV. It was more of me recording everyone. I wasn't like doing the stunts myself. But after a while, I ended up selling that one, and then I had got a good deal on I believe it was a '08 Gixxer, or it might have been 10. It was a '08 Gixxer. So that's how I got my '08 Gixxer. I ended up getting my '08 Gixxer, and then I stunted that one out, and then that's the one I learned how to wheelie on. And then I sold that bike. Once I sold that bike, I kind of stopped because I fell on that bike doing a wheelie. I fell. It was all my fault. I was mid wheelie, and then it felt like my hands was like slipping off of the handlebar. So in my mind, it was just to re-grip, but I was still mid wheelie. What I think happened is it happened so fast. I wasn't going fast or anything, maybe like 15 miles per hour. It was a good wheelie. But what I think happened is when I let go of this side of the handlebar, I also forgot about the throttle. And then the bike just came down, but it came down so fast that I just went over the handlebar, broke my wrist, I think sprained my ankle. And it's crazy because with that fall, my wrist was broken and my ankle, I guess the hospital said my ankle was fine, but what's crazy is because I still rode home. Remember, this is my throttle hand. I still rode home. I had more pain in my ankle than in my wrist, but my wrist was broke. My ankle wasn't. And I didn't even go to the hospital the same day. I went the following day. And the reason why is because my girlfriend at the time, she's like, you should go to the hospital. Something's probably broken. And me trying to be a man, I'm like, I'm fine. If my wrist was broken, I wouldn't be able to bend it. But she's like, babe, whatever, just go to the hospital, have them check you out. I had road rash too. But, you know, road rash, you just get in the shower, wash it off. I had road rash. I went to the hospital the following morning, and then sure enough, they told me my wrist was broken. And they said my ankle was fine, but I didn't walk for like 2 weeks. So even after them telling me, I'm like, are you sure? Because my ankle is more painful than my wrist. And they're like, yeah, we did the MRI or CT scan or whatever scan they do. And they're like, yeah, your ankle is fine. They just wrap it up. My ankle, they put it in a brace. And they're like, start therapy or whatever. And then that was the end of that. I think after I started walking again after like 2 weeks. Started walking on the messed up ankle I'm talking about after like 2 weeks. But what I learned with that was the more I didn't try to walk, the longer it would take to get better. So I guess from day one, if I would have just kept walking on it, eventually it would have fixed itself or the pain would have went away. But me just being lazy, staying in bed all day, kind of took it longer to recover. But yeah, after like a month and a half of just going back and forth to a doctor's appointment, telling me I should get surgery on my wrist, and then keep postponing it because of the whole COVID stuff. I think after a month and a half, they're like, oh, your wrist healed on its own. No need for therapy or whatever. I mean, no need for surgery or whatever. I was like, okay. And then, yeah, ever since then, I didn't have problems. Sometimes my wrists do hurt a little bit, but I can still do like push-ups or whatever. So maybe in the future it will catch up to me or something. I don't know. But for now, all's good. The road rash, it was pretty bad at the time, but it went away. I wasn't wearing any gear, just a t-shirt and ripped jeans. I'm not a big gear type of guy because if you fall hard enough, you can't predict your fall. I'm not a big gear kind of guy because you can't predict your fall. You fall hard enough whether you're wearing gear or not, bones gonna break regardless. So the whole wearing gear or the whole whatever you guys want to do with that's between y'all and y'all. But I'm not a gear type of person. Helmet and gloves is all I need. Road rash, I'm fine with road rash. God forbid if something did happen to me, I won't start no GoFundMe account or none of that bull crap. I'll take full responsibility for myself. So we're not gonna rant too much about gear because that's everyone's opinion. I know the gear police is probably gonna chew me up in the comment section, but that's between you and you, not me. But yeah, that was the end of my 08 Gixxer. I kept the bike. The bike was fine. I had a cage on it, so the bike literally had no scratches, nothing. The bike was fine. Like I said, I still rode home. Everything was cool, but I didn't ride as much after that bike. I stopped the wheelie. I learned my lessons, and I just decided to move on with life. That's when I got back into cars, and I had bought the GTR. Just started doing car shows again. But yeah, those are all the bikes I had. I had a Grom too. I don't remember the year because I didn't have it for too long. But I did have a Grom, a black one. Not a Grom, a Kawasaki Z125. I had a Z125. I didn't have it for long though. It didn't have enough power for me. It kind of felt weird riding like on the streets. It kind of felt weird because it didn't have enough power. Everybody's just passing me. I don't like that feeling. And then the Honda Grom, I keep saying Grom because that was the most popular at the time. But the Z125's Grom, pretty much the same size. But for those that's local here, I don't know if they have it here, but the Z125 is kind of like the Honda Navi in a sense. So it's very small, and in America, people are doing 60 kilometers, 60 miles per hour. That's like 100 kilometers per hour. It's like normal to do 60 or 100 km in most places, even though the speed limit be like 45, but most people, I don't follow the rules. But yeah, those are all the bikes I've owned in the past. There's a dog in the middle of the street. Those were all the bikes I've owned in the past. Now, once I got here in the Philippines, I bought the Kawasaki Z900 2025. I think I only had it for like 4 months, 5 months. And then I had the Aerox. I don't know, the Aerox is just, it was more practical. So I ended up selling the Z900. And that was in the province too. I ended up selling the Z900. Bought my Aerox, the black one. Then once I moved here to BGC, I ended up getting this one. 2026 Honda ADV. Road sync wasn't available, so I just got the standard. But I'm kind of happy I got the standard because the road sync, I said in my last video, the road sync, the tires are bronze, like brown bronze. I think the handlebars even brown and bronze too. And then the emblem was gold, so I actually didn't like none of that. I just want a simple white and black or whatever color, but I just need 2 colors. I don't need all these colors. So kind of worked out getting this one. I don't regret it because although the road sync does have navigation, it's not, you don't see the map, you just see turn left, turn right, that's all you see. So one thing I learned about that is having cars, I always had the mindset of I'm not buying a car unless it have navigation, right? So you're paying extra for the navigation, and then when you think about it, you don't even use, well, at least for me, I never used it. Almost every one of my cars had navigation, and I never used the car navigation because CarPlay was just better. Even before CarPlay, I just still rather use my phone. The car navigation is just never updated, and then they want you to pay to update it. So it's like, hey, what's the point? You can just use I can just use my phone. It's free. I think there's shops here. I almost forgot we're looking for a seat and mirrors. It says we're 5 minutes away. Man, it's like a 30-minute ride. I don't know if we took 30 minutes or because I'm talking. It felt so quick. See, sometimes you gotta be aggressive or you'll never be able to turn. Hey, it says we're almost there. Let's see what they have. Am I going the wrong way? Nope. This guy just didn't have patience. You know, riding this bike, when I rented the ADV, I didn't feel a difference between my Aerox. But riding this one, I do feel a difference. This one definitely feels more comfortable. But like I said previously, the one I rented, the shocks was blown, so I was feeling everything. It almost felt identical to the Aerox. This one feels definitely more smoother. I can say a little bit softer. Doesn't feel rough. I will still upgrade it in the future. This is probably the last bike I buy in the Philippines, at least for the next year or two. So I guess not that I can go all out on modifications, but I guess I can really focus on making the bike comfortable because I don't plan on getting rid of it. I think I'll stick with this bike for a while. I really like it. Remember I said I wanted to also get a screen, but I'm not too sure if I should just stick with my phone, and the reason being is because if I get a screen, it'll be right here, but it'll be a permanent mount. So now if I get a permanent mount, meaning you can't take it off and on, no quick release, what happens when I park somewhere that's sunny? The sun is gonna bake the screen. Eventually it's gonna bake the screen. So what will happen? That'll be a waste of money, right? And as I see, these screens are not cheap. They're like 4,000, 5,000 pesos, 6,000, 7,000 pesos. So we're not gonna waste money when I can just use the phone. When I park, I'll just have to take my phone. If I get a quick release screen, it's the same thing, no? Every time I park, I'm gonna have to remove the screen, so why not just use my phone? I guess the benefit of that, of using the quick release, is if someone wants to steal it. Let's see, if I buy something, I probably have to use that 7-Eleven ATM, but we'll see. We'll see if they even have anything, and I probably should have went the other way. Yeah, I was supposed to go the other way. But we'll see. We'll see what these stores have, if we find anything. And if this ride was 30 minutes, then this video is probably gonna have to go back around. This video is probably way too long to even like continue if I was to get something in the store. It's a dead end. See, when I do these talking videos, I can't like multitask, so I'm not really paying attention to the GPS. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it wasn't too windy in the beginning of the video when we're on the highway. Hopefully they have a seat. Hopefully the store's empty. Hopefully they're open, matter of fact. But just hoping we'll find something. If not, like I said, tomorrow it's another day. Tomorrow was the original plan, to go to a shop in Calacone, I think it's pronounced. Not too sure. Calocon, I don't know. But we'll see. Let's not get our hopes up. As far as the seat, I wanted I sat on a flat seat. It felt good, but I kind of like the camo seats because they have like a little hump here. Just I think the hump is just good enough to where you don't slide forward. And that was my issue with the Aerox. I kept sliding forward. So hopefully they have one like on display. Hopefully they have one on display to where I can like feel it. Maybe they'll even let me test it. I don't know. Maybe put it on the bike but don't bolt it down so I can test it. I'm not too sure. But we'll see what happens. Says we're 1 minute away. It's a lot of car wash places here. Is this the same fire truck from the highway? I don't even know how long my turn signal was on. If I do get something, I'm gonna have to find an ATM. That's gonna be interesting. Most places that's like a little off of the main road sometimes don't have their ATM is out of stock. The ATM it's empty. I find the ATM is out of stock. It's funny because I went to a store one time and the security guard was like, no money, the ATM is out of stock. But I think what he meant to say is the ATM is out of service. Should be right here. This one on the corner. Ooh, look at all these ADVs. We'll see what we can buy. We'll see what they got in there, guys. Give me a second. They didn't have any seats, so the guy said out of stock, but it is what it is. The guy said the seats were out of stock. They were busy anyway, so I guess we just have to wait till tomorrow. But I'll look for some shops on the way home, and if I see anything, I'll start another video, because this one is already probably long. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.